Hello one and all, it's that time again, DC Woods still reviewing the Arrowverse, and today we are finally on Supergirl Season 4. So, where am I up to with Arrowverse viewing these days? Well, I recently finished Legends of Tomorrow Season 6, I've still got Superman and Lois Season 2, Supergirl Season 6, The Flash Seasons 7 and 8, Black Lightning Season 4, Legends of Tomorrow Season 7, and Batwoman Season 2 to complete. And of course, I know that The Flash is finally ending with Season 9. It's sad, but I hope The Flash is given the swan song it deserves. I hope the Arrowverse is given the swan song it deserves. So, finally for my review series, we're covering The Girl of Steel's 4th season, which premiered on the 14th of October 2018 and concluded on 19th of May 2019. At this point in time, Kara Danvers has made peace with all the hardships she's endured, and she's finally been able to fully balance her life as ace reporter for Catco, a DEO agent, and the champion of National City. Unfortunately, sunny days are a thing of the past, and a very real and sinister threat is growing across America. Anti-alien hatred is rising fast among the public, and Supergirl is soon struggling to keep the peace. Not only that, the racial prejudice is soon infiltrating the government and national journalism, and Kara finds herself isolated and overwhelmed by a world that's rapidly turning against her and her loved ones. Fear and hatred are threatening to drown hope and compassion for all. War is coming on all sides thanks to the threat of a Kaznian invasion and the Children of Liberty, led by Agent Liberty himself. But are they the real threats? And who's benefiting from all this chaos? I know I've said this before in previous videos, so I'll say it right now again. Season 4 is the best season of Supergirl, and I was very surprised by it all. Normally when an Arrowverse show enters its 4th season, it's curtains. A show is past its best and is struggling to get back to its glory days. Arrow Season 4 was simply rock bottom. The Flash and Legends of Tomorrow both suffered terrible 4th seasons. And yet, Supergirl Season 4 not only breaks the curse, it finally realises the show's potential. Now, to start with the theme of Season 4. When it was announced that the creative team were once again going to cover politics and real-life societal issues for Supergirl, I groaned. Not because I'm against that stuff utilised in superhero shows or movies, but because Supergirl had already covered all that stuff in Season 2. This initially felt like a step backwards, but Robert Rovner and Jessica Queller knew what they were doing here. Racial prejudice and hatred, societal issues, corruption in government, political infighting, integrity in journalism, free speech, all of these things have been running wild in America since 2016 when Donald Trump somehow became president of the United States. And to see all of this being adapted for Supergirl Season 4, it's a far cry from everything that made me fall in love with the show back in 2016, and I was just completely shocked by such a radical shift in the tone of the show. But the writing is on form here. Instead of overly preaching about these chaotic issues, about what's right and what's wrong, like Doctor Who was guilty of preaching during the Chris Chibnall era, like Batwoman was guilty of doing a lot of the time, the Supergirl creative team utilise the real-world affairs to actually develop the characters and drive the stakes with an engaging narrative that ultimately explodes in an intense challenge for the Girl of Steel. Since she became Supergirl, Kara Danvers has risen to the occasion with resolve, her love for humanity and aliens alike, making a difference as both herself and her alter ego to people's lives, and punching her way to victory against superpowered threats. Here in Season 4, Kara is challenged by Agent Liberty and the Children of Liberty as they're galvanizing the public to hate and attack aliens living peacefully in National City. Supergirl cannot simply punch those without becoming a villain in the eyes of an irrational public. And no matter how hard Supergirl tries to be diplomatic and advocate peace and unity, the public are refusing to listen thanks to the extreme hatred. As President Olivia Marsden, Linda Carter is once again back in the role, yes. Once President Marsden is exposed as an alien and ultimately ousted from the White House, new President Philip Baker steps in, the legendary Bruce Boxleitner from Tron, and the thinly veiled anti-alien contempt has taken over the government and compromised the DEO. Kara's identity is soon in danger, and ultimately she loses her job at the DEO for refusing to compromise the security of herself and her family. With the world and even her own DEO comrades slowly turning on her, Supergirl has to learn to save the day as Kara Danvers, ace reporter for Catco, to try and restore peace and expose the truth. Ever since day one, Melissa Benoist has been perfect as Supergirl, Kara Danvers, Kara Zor-El, but in Season 4, Melissa truly cements her legacy as Supergirl. Her character has been so well developed throughout the years, and she's really put through the ringer in Season 4 with all the challenges and threats that come her way. And as ever, you're rooting for Kara Danvers every step of her journey. She's really struggling to remain sunny and optimistic in the darkest days she's ever faced, but Kara keeps fighting on. What's really refreshing is that Kara's journey as a journalist also comes full circle here. Having long proven herself as Supergirl and a DEO agent, Kara's storyline as a reporter for Catgo seemed to have been shundled together in Season 3. For Season 4, after Supergirl is fired from the DEO, Kara gets to showcase her worth as a reporter and why she deserves to be held in the same regard as Clark Kent. Her investigative brilliance, her research, her writing, you truly get to see Kara at work as a reporter here. And the fact that it's who she is as a reporter is what ultimately saves the day this time around, is what makes Kara Danvers' ultimate victory feel earned and deserved. But Melissa Benoist also deserves bonus points for playing Red Daughter, a clone of Supergirl's that was accidentally created in the final battle of Season 3. The infamous Red Sun storyline from Superman comics is adapted brilliantly in Season 4, exploring a truly tragic take on Kara if she'd wound up serving the rogue state of Kaznia instead of landing in the USA. The Red Daughter storyline is a real slow burner, but it's paced perfectly in Season 4 and ultimately explodes in the latter stages of an intense emotional climax. To see Melissa play both parts simultaneously, interact with herself so seamlessly, it's yet another award-winning performance from her. Other great points. Episode-wise, Season 4 is very consistent across these 22 episodes. It's the most consistent the show's ever been. Character-wise, most of the remaining cast are developed superbly, as always. J'onn J'onzz has plenty of challenges of his own to face this season, suffering a major identity crisis and vows of pacifism in order to honour his late father. Brainy, aka Jesse Rath, is promoted to main status in Season 4, and he really proves himself. Lena Luthor and James Olsen endure rocky storylines here, with their relationship coming to an end. The villains are much improved overall, with Otis and Mercy Graves, Manchester Black and the Children of Liberty proving to be sinister, notorious threats indeed. The Elseworlds crossover with Arrow and The Flash is great, doing a superb job setting things up for Crisis on Infinite Earths. Tyler Hoechlin is back as Superman. Yes. We get to meet Ruby Rose's Batwoman and Elizabeth Tulloch's Lois Lane for the first time. Double yes. Oh, and we have several new additions to the cast as well. Welcome Nicole Maines, who arrives at Catco as Nia Null, who ultimately takes on the superheroic identity of Dreamer. When it was announced that a transgender superhero was going to debut on Supergirl, I was worried that they were just going to do this as a publicity campaign. But thankfully, the character of Dreamer turns out to be as real and three-dimensional as the rest of the cast. Nicole Maines being a transgender woman obviously provides authenticity in the role, but when Nicole arrives in the season premiere, American Alien, she's bubbly, down to earth, a little socially awkward, and she reminds Kara so much of herself back in season 1. Nia is developed beautifully throughout season 4, her story and interactions with Kara being handled with the same level of maturity and grace that was given to Alex's coming out storyline in season 2. Piece by piece, we get to know Nia Null and her background and the powers she possesses. All the while she grows in confidence under Kara's mentorship as both a reporter and a hero. What I love about Kara and Nia's relationship is that Kara doesn't once try to mentor Nia like Cat Grant did back in season 1. Kara is a fair boss, an encouraging mentor and true friend to Nia, and ultimately comes out as Supergirl to her when they share a moment of despair. When Nia finally takes on the mantle of Dreamer, it's earned and deserved, and she proves herself as a true hero and one of the family. I absolutely loved Nia's story in season 4, and Nicole proves what an absolutely amazing actress she is. Villain-wise, Sam Witwer is ruthlessly brilliant as Ben Lockwood, aka Agent Liberty. Now, a radicalised, hate-mongering racist like Lockwood has the potential to be a one-dimensional baddie, but the episode A Man of Steel is devoted into why Ben is the way he is. Once upon a time, Ben Lockwood was a good man, and all the major events of Supergirl's previous seasons, they spelt hardship and tragedy for himself and his family. Never before have the consequences of world-ending events and the effect of alien livelihood on human beings been explored this way on Supergirl. And as Ben Lockwood transforms into the murdering extremist, you can't help but feel sympathy for him. You can't help but listen to his reasons and his policies and ask, is he right? Obviously, Ben's not justified for doing what he's doing, but you can certainly understand his motivations. It's more genius writing. Now, if Agent Liberty was the main antagonist for Supergirl Season 4, I would have been happy with that, because the character is deep enough and well developed enough to justify being the big bad here. And again, Sam Witwer is absolutely amazing in the role. He really, really is. But just when you think the writing for this season can't get any better, there's a major plot twist in the latter stages. Agent Liberty is nothing more than a pawn for the real big bad of season 4. Who is that, you may ask? Why, none other than Lex Luthor himself. Ever since Superman showed up back in Supergirl Season 2, I've been wondering when, or even if, Superman's arch-nemesis would ever appear on this show. When it was announced that Lex would be appearing for a 2-part episode in Season 4, and John Cryer from Superman 4, A Quest for Peace would be in the role, I thought it was just going to be window dressing. No chance. Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? And The House of L is an amazing 2-part episode of one of the show's best ever episodes, in my opinion, easily in my top 5. Here we see where Lex Luthor has been ever since his capture and imprisonment at Superman's hands years ago, and how he's been preparing for his big comeback long before Kara even became Supergirl. In the 2-parter, we see what happened when Lex was sent to prison, how he manipulated events from afar to his design, how he's been manipulating Lockwood and the Children of Liberty, fanning the flames of anti-alien bigotry, manipulating the Kasnians and Red Daughter, wreaking havoc on Kara's life, compromising the White House and the DEO with the new president under his employ. Even Eve Tessmarker was working for him the whole time. All these shocking twists and machinations, all this brilliance, malevolence and charisma, it makes me want to yell, sod off Zack Snyder, sod off Jesse Eisenberg, this is Lex Luthor. Not only that, but this rendition of Lex Luthor only appears in 3 episodes in season 4. Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? The House of El, and the season finale, The Quest for Peace. In these 3 episodes, the villain accomplishes so much more than the likes of Ra's al Ghul, Vandal Savage, Queen Rhea, Damien Dark, Non, Indigo, Savitar, Lillian Luthor, The Thinker, Malice and Neron, and Lex Luthor comes so close to victory. Acting wise, John Cryer is right up there with Gene Hackman, John Shear, Clancy Brown and Michael Rosenbaum as one of the greatest actors to ever portray Lex Luthor. The writing, Blake Neely's theme and John's performance embody absolutely everything that makes Lex Luthor one of the greatest villains of all time. This rendition is easily in my top 5 Arrowverse villains of all time. And it all comes to an explosive, rip-roaring finale in The Quest for Peace, manipulating the Kasnian military, Ben Lockwood, the Children of Liberty, and Red Daughter, ruining Supergirl's reputation and Kara's life, getting the public on his side, all with the ruthless intent of conquering the country and destroying Superman once and for all. It's true Lex Luthor, and when it finally comes to the ultimate battle for civil rights, truth, justice, and the American way, all the plot threads are tied up beautifully. Supergirl and friends kick the asses of Lockwood and the Children of Liberty, and when Supergirl finally defeats Lex Luthor, the victory feels earned and deserved. Plus, there are major consequences which set the table beautifully for both Season 5 and Crisis on Infinite Earths. From a writing and creative standpoint, Season 4 is indeed the best outing for Supergirl. But from a rating standpoint, it's not. As great as the writing is, as epic and critically acclaimed as Season 4 is, it's undoubtedly the show's most controversial season. It's also the darkest and most intense, and a lot of fans obviously switched off because of the subject matter. As I've said, I'm not against politics and real life issues being used in superhero movies. I'm not against social commentary being done in these kind of shows, as long as it's done right. Hell, the entire X-Men franchise revolves around politics, real life, social commentary. Black Lightning did it. Marvel's Luke Cage, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they did it brilliantly. And Supergirl Season 4 is the Arrowverse season that has had the most success in dealing with these matters. But as glorious as it is, I don't have the same desire to revisit it like I do Supergirl's sunnier and more optimistic days. Not because this is bad, far from it. I just need to be in the right frame of mind for it. Another problem with Supergirl Season 4 is that this is the peak of the show. It had a great start on CBS and improved with every subsequent season on the CW to this point, where it finally reached its full potential. With Seasons 5 and Season 6, the only way now is down, I'm afraid. And finally, the biggest problem with Season 4, and I'm sorry to say this, is Alex. I have loved Alex Danvers and Kyla Lee ever since Season 1. Alex has been the best thing to have ever happened to the Supergirl character. Alex has been so well developed, she's such a great character, and Kyla has been amazing throughout all her time on Supergirl. But in Season 4, Alex is just demoted to being the single worst character here. She gets crap development, her quest to become a mother gets put on the back burner strangely, and then Alex gets her mind erased as part of this harebrained, contrived subplot to protect Supergirl's identity. Now, I hate amnesia stories at the best of times, but this one is ridiculously contrived. It's just used as a means for Alex to act like, let's be honest, an absolute bitch to Kara. It's a slap in the face to the Danvers sisters and everything they've meant to the show. And what makes things all the more ludicrous is that the writers themselves openly acknowledge how stupid it all is through dialogue. Granted, there is such an emotional payoff to this subplot, and when Alex finally remembers who her sister really is, and it's one of the best Kara-Alex moments in the entire show. But did we really need such a nonsensical plot device to produce this moment? No, we didn't. There really is such irony regarding Supergirl Season 4, despite, or rather because of, the intense politics and issues. This remains the absolute best season of Supergirl. Not only that, but it's the best season for the whole Arrowverse in 2018-2019. It's the only Arrowverse show to have successfully broken the Season 4 curse, and it's one of the top 10 seasons of the entire Arrowverse. The show realizes its potential at last and cements its legacy as one of the best shows DC television has ever produced. Once again, it's up and away. Overall rating, 9 out of 10. So, what did you all think of Supergirl Season 4? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Please click like and subscribe. Next time, we are finally going to be reviewing Arrow Season 7, then Legends of Tomorrow Season 4, and that will wrap up the 2018-2019 period. See you again soon. Stay safe, everyone. Bye-bye.